Hello my dear CA students. What gives me immense pleasure and happiness every 6 months is this results. So recently CA final and CA intermediate results came for November 23 exams and many students shared their happiness and their success with me. So I personally felt I am successful because as teachers the only happiness that we derive is when our students become successful and they grow in their life. So because we keep ourselves in their shoes and we feel the success. So today I just wanted to share one more success story of one of my student. So Mr. Ronak Jain, CA Ronak Jain, who is All India 10th rank, and I'm welcoming you, Ronak. So happy to hear as soon as he sent me that he got All India 10th rank and he scored 76 marks in indirect taxes. So I felt very happy and just wanted to have a session with him, interview session with him, so that it will definitely get benefited for those who are appearing for May 24 exams. And next thing is like he is not a ranker at CA intermediate. So usually, many students will have this doubt. Sir, I have not prepared well at inter, but at final I wanted to get a rank. Is it really possible? So this is a live example before us. And yes, Ronak, so please say a few words.
So first of all, thank you very much, THARUN'S sir, for having me here. So the results, it's 4 days that the results have been out, and it's a surreal feeling actually. I'm still processing the result, but it's actually all because of you teachers and parents that have been with us all through the way. And regarding the fact that it's not important to be a rank holder at inter or foundation level, yes, CA is such a course that you don't have to have a good background actually to score good marks in this exam. What you need to have is consistency and hard work, and if you keep that going, I think any student can score good marks. Yeah,
good, superb. And so how, Ronak, how you managed time and this many subjects? And how much time you took for your preparation actually?
So after my articleship started, after a few months I had started my classes. I think around 8 to 10 months. Actually, that is also late. Ideally, you should be starting 3 to 4 months after your articleship starts. Yes. So I was late on that part. But still I managed to complete my classes 6 months before the exams. So that is the first step for all the students. I would say that at least when you start your study leave, that there should not be any subject which you are starting for the first time.
Correct.
So yeah, 6 months before the exam, I had completed my classes, and from that stage, my revision had started. Super. So CA final is a stage, I think, where you require minimum 3 revisions for each subjects. And you should also ensure that, I used to ensure that I don't leave a subject too many days without touching that subject. So maximum 20 to 25 days was the gap between 2 subjects.
Correct. So revision is the key.
2 revisions, yeah.
Revision is the key.
Revision is the key, definitely.
Yes. So then how this classes helped you and how the revision lectures helped you, so I can share.
So so the classes was the first stage, for any subject. You are not familiar, because in final level and intermediate level also, a lot of subjects are new to us, which we have not seen before. So classes are definitely learning it from teachers who have been in this field from long is a different experience altogether. So half of the work gets reduced there itself. And if I talk specifically about IDT, I had studied GST from THARUN'S sir in intermediate also. So I was very sure that final also I have to go with THARUN'S sir only. And yes, in revisions also, sirs, I had referred to your rocket revision videos, and that's it book. Yes. That was my, you can say Brahmastra for GST.
Yes, yes. Yeah. So you attended regular batch.
Yeah.
And thereafter this rocket revision and that's it book has helped you.
Yes. Along with that it book, I had used solved workbook also.
Yes.
So initially during the classes, I used to refer all the 3 volumes. And but later, at a later point of time, because I had to revise that subject in 1.5 days. Correct. What I used to do was, when I was going through the volume and I opened that's it book by the side. And if there were any key points which I thought I should read along, I just noted that in that's it book.
Super.
So at the end, I only had 1 book to refer.
Super. Yeah. So you created actually that's it version 2.0 kind of.
You can say that.
Yeah. Super. Yeah. And I prepared that book mainly for that purpose, because students cannot read entire book
Exactly.
One day before the exam. But actually the fact is that only if they know those things, they will be able to see the summary.
Right.
Directly summary, no one can see and understand and go for the exam.
It's true. Yeah.
So then how solved workbook helped you?
So at CA final level, you have to go through the past year papers, RTPs, MTPs. It's must for all the subjects almost. So in solved workbook, you have compiled the past year papers also, RTPs, MTPs, everything. So I didn't have to look any further. For other subjects, I had to separately take those. But for your solved workbook, I actually for the first time I had solved all the questions. But I also used to tick the questions which I had to do in my second and third reading, which were the difficult ones. Yeah, so I used to eliminate the questions which
And those QR code helps you?
Yes, definitely. There were always a few questions, which I couldn't solve myself. So that time I used to scan it and do it. Super. And I also referred your Mighty 50. And I also remember one video of yours where you had solved the MCQ live session. So that also, it was just 1 mark question, but it brushed so many concepts.
Correct. Yes, I remember. Now I remember.
Yes.
I also forgot that. Yeah. So yes, and so happy. And please share a few inputs to our students as to what are the things that they need to keep in mind. So we can start with FR.
Yeah.
So first, and in FR, what are the tips that you will give?
Okay, so financial reporting, I took my classes, the first subject I took my classes was for financial reporting only. And financial reporting is a subject where, you have to go with the study material. I think of all the 8 subjects that I prepared for, only DT and ITT, I used the material for the faculties. I would recommend people to go only for ICS study material for all the other subjects. So financial reporting, so institute has a trend of asking the questions majorly from the study material. Correct. And if at all it goes beyond that, it asks it from the past year papers, RTPs and MTPs.
Correct.
So for financial reporting, if you do it from these resources, you have almost covered 60 to 80 marks of the paper.
Yes.
So that was my strategy for financial reporting.
And AFM?
AFM, again. So SFM also, I would say that you have to go with study material, but the institute study material has comparatively less questions for SFM.
So you need to buy some other book and solve more questions.
Actually, institute again, RTPs, MTPs, institute has covered a lot more new questions there. So generally, institute has a trend of making SFM paper difficult every 2 or 3 attempts. Yes. Surprisingly, this time FR was difficult. There was a trend that FR was usually moderate in every attempt, but this time FR was tough and SFM was comparatively manageable.
Super. And how you manage with DT?
DT again, I took my classes towards the just some 3
DT and IDT. I think you attended like last 1 year.
Yes, last 1 year. Just some 10 to 12 months before my final exams. Okay. So DT again, I used Bhavar Borana sir's compact book. So I followed a similar strategy like IDT because DT is again a very vast subject. Correct. We got 2.5 days for DT in our attempt, but still I felt that those 2.5 days were also less for DT. Mm-hmm. So again, what I did was I used sir's compact book. I just made some important notings there and I referred only that book for my exams. Yes. And DT and ITT are 2 subjects where institute keeps on asking new questions. Correct. FR and SFM are, they often repeat the questions. So DT, ITT, you have to be very thorough with the, provisions as well. So, those compact books, summary books are really helpful in grasping. I still remember when I attended these DT and ITT exams, if you go with only one book, at the exams you can literally, that those pages run before your mind. That picture memory comes before your mind. And
I used to tell this in the class.
Yes, and IDT charts, I still remember that GSTR1, after that GSTR3V. So those charts I can still remember, and the mnemonics, spelled slow, eye creations. That are actually very useful and
super. Yeah. So that's what usually I'll tell to the students, like when you stick on to one book and when you keep on reading that, in the exam hall, the moment you close your eyes, that will flash in your mind.
Yes,
so that superbly you can write the provisions like that. Super. And generally, like what are the tips that you wanted to give?
Okay, so that is one point that I said is you have to go with study material. For DT, IDT alone, I used material of the faculties. Otherwise, for audit especially, these theory subjects, you should go for the study material only because that is from where the institute asks questions. Second thing is you have to cover the subjects 100%. That was my focus, because institute, you ABC analysis should be your last resort. From the beginning, your thought process should be that you have to go 100% ready for the exams. So in our attempt also, FR was one paper where a CSR is one question which is tested once in 2 attempts. But in our attempt, and that too for 2 or 4 marks. But in our attempt, it came for 8 marks, surprisingly. So yeah, institute can do that with any paper. So you have to be ready. And in every exam, you have to be prepared that in every attempt, the institute has trained that at least 1 or 2 paper will be tough, will be out of the box. And the other papers will be average. So if you cover 100% of the syllabus, there is always going to be one question in the exam which you will not be able to solve. So the remaining 5 you will be able to solve if you have covered 100% of the syllabus.
Correct.
So that mindset I had, and that is what I'll recommend to other students as well. So apart from that, you have to try to do as many revisions as possible, because even after 3 revisions, there might be a possibility that if you leave a gap of 15 days, you might start forgetting things. So you have to keep revising, and that is what.
Superb, dear. So that's it for today, guys. And so wish him all the best success in his future endeavors. And I also pray for your success.
Thank you
so all
much.
the very best.
Thank you so much, sir.
For your
And
future.
also one more thing,
Yes.
on behalf of all the student fraternity, I know that it will be a thought of many students as well. I want to thank you personally for the service you are giving to students in the form of rocket revision videos also. That is actually a very great help to many students.
Thank you.
In every
Thank you,
attempt.
dear. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So actually, no, from their attempt only I started. So when they were doing CA intermediate, so 2020.
Yeah,
So 2020, November 2020. So that's where I started first this free rocket revision for inter and final. So I'm continuing that. So with all your wishes, definitely, yes, I will do that.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.